for what's to come for the next season. Speaking of, though, I think a topic many of you are looking forward to hearing about. Jay, I know you are too.
Definitely.
Is game types and game modes that are coming to Halo 5. So, to kick that off, we've invited Max Grossman. Max, pleasure to have you on today's show.
Good to be here, Andy.
Max, of course, coming from the multiplayer team. Thank you for. Now, the multiplayer team isn't too far from here, right? It's up a flight of stairs.
It's upstairs.
And that way.
Some direction over there.
And that way, all right. So, we thank you for coming away from your desk. We know
it's
you
nice
guys.
being in the same building at finally.
I have to say, this is the first time we're in the same building as a multiplayer team in a while.
Yeah.
So it is fantastic now to be in the new studio here. But I know your time is precious because you guys are working on game modes for February and even further out than that. But I would get in trouble for talking about anything beyond that. But and tell me, we've got a lot of stuff coming in February. I know these modes take a ton of time and a kind of a Herculean effort from teams all around the studio.
Yeah, we've been working on a lot of this stuff for, like, basically since we shipped. We've been working on a bunch of these new modes. Maybe you guys saw Big Team Battle came out, and kind of since then we've been working on this next kind of grouping of modes that we're going to hopefully see in February.
Right, so let's talk about a few of them. I think one that we, Jay, I know you're excited about this one too. One that's coming is Fiesta.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been, Nick Harrison, one of our engineers, has been busting his ass working on Fiesta, and we're getting playtests of that regularly now. We've been, just testing out all the cool weapons there, and it's like a lot of crazy fun, right? Like kind of classic Fiesta, right? You spawn in with your rocket launcher and sniper rifle, and just get to go to town.
For sure, and then, I think there's a lot coming too, including some classic modes, a reimagined spiritual successor. Tell us a little bit about the goodness.
Yeah, I think some of you guys probably saw the concept art that we showed.
Right, yeah, we showed the ball, I think, about a week ago.
Yeah. So we've been using that ball like kind of everywhere that we can right now. We're trying to figure out all the awesome modes that we can make. I know some of you are probably pretty excited to see Grifball coming back. We've been working with certain community members to try to get the most awesome Grifball court that we possibly can, like, blessed by the Grifball man himself.
Yeah, I think Knockyard has a pretty good map that's coming out.
Yeah.
It looks pretty rad. I think when people see it, they're going to want to jump on it because it's probably the best looking Grifball map I think Halo has seen, right?
It's pretty intense. Like, he did, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's
good.
pretty wild.
It looks really good.
It's pretty cool. And on top of Grifball, we're also working on kind of a spiritual successor to the classic Assault game mode. It's not going to be exactly Assault, but it should be kind of have some similar gameplay elements from it. But another thing that we've been looking at is trying to make sure that we hear all the feedback about game modes, right? Like, there's lots of people asking for more and more game modes, and we are sitting here trying to make sure we can get all these like awesome game modes out to people, as fast as we possibly can. And kind of going forward, a big thing that we've been focusing on is creating game modes that have tons of custom game options that let people just make kind of some of the crazy game modes that they're kind of used to making, right? Like some of these excuse me, other game modes. So in particular, like with this ball mode, we have one of our engineers, Miller Tinker, has like spent a ton of time making sure that our ball mode is like extremely extensible. It lets people, we're coming out with our version of this mode. We have Grifball.
Yep.
Through custom game options, you can probably figure out a way to make something even like Oddball or Ricochet or like any kind of crazy ball type mode that you can think of. And
can be kind of built from the base mode.
Yeah, exactly. So that's been like going forward. That's like a huge focus for us because we want to be able to empower our community. We have this awesome set of Forge tools. Let's give you an awesome set of like game making tools, and you can combine the two and make these awesome experiences.
Oh, I think people are going to love that. Custom game options. People have been kind of any way that they can tinker with the game modes. I think is what we always hear and what people love to see. So and then being able to do things like Oddball with the mode. I think never have we had kind of that same structure for game types, and I think in talking with you guys, being able to get these game types in the hands of the community even faster, as early as February for this big drop is pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
And I think we'll probably go, even speaking of Miller, we'll probably go into a little bit more of how that voodoo magic works with building those game types, maybe over the next month. On blogs and the forums, probably have you guys back on the stream as well.
Yeah, I'd love to be back.
Come the February update, but and then I'd love to also be able to talk about other modes you guys are working on. But I think what we can say for now is that there are lots more in the pipelines.
Yeah, we got a lot in store
for the months ahead. So Max, can't thank you enough for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
We'll let you get back to working on all that stuff so that we can play it really soon.
Yes,
cool. Take care, Max.
Thanks, Max.
I have to say, I'm looking forward to all sorts of stuff. If you look at what the community has already created, right?
Oh, my goodness,
with the custom games and the maps they have, thinking about adding things like the spiritual successor to Assault with all new custom game options, of course, which can be configured to that classic Assault as well. And then being able to also create Oddball off of that same game variant. Grifball, of course, things like Ricochet, all coming. I think are going to just add to the list, which I think is ultimately what you guys have been saying you're most interested in. Of course, is game modes, things like brand new maps, and all of that is indeed on the way.
Yeah, when you think about how how much we've already been surprised and impressed by what they've done with Forge.
It's overwhelming, right?
It's
I mean, we on the community team, I think there's a great responsibility, first of all, to make sure that all this community content is discoverable, that, that we're highlighting it on Waypoint in-game, of course, and promoting that stuff. You know, and now we have community playlists coming online for the first time. So for us, when we see something fantastic in the community, right, when we see like the Gauntlet later, when we see Lava Pit, when we see these game types, we're kind of like, we have got to get this stuff in the game. So we've been working with the multiplayer team to get all of that goodness into the game. So all of that is on the way. Of course, along with Grifball, we have a brand new gravity hammer that's coming. You're going to be seeing more of that. There's also going to be, it has a little bit of fresh new gameplay, right? Because you're going to have Grifball with things like thruster and stabilize, and it has increased jump height, which lets you stabilize actually, which lets you ground pound if you perfectly time it.
Wow.
The ball can also be thrown in that mode, and any ball mode, but you can turn that off too. So there's a lot to come in terms of the ball modes that Max was just alluding to and Josh talked about a little bit earlier this week. Last thing I want to talk about in our news section, Jay, is there was a little bit of commendation tuning that the multiplayer team did just yesterday. So the close quarters commendation and the combat opportunist commendation both now have 10 medals associated with them.
Wow.
They are, I know someone will write this down. Apologies, we don't have a graphic as this news just came in. This update just went live to Halo 5. But close quarters now includes Bull True, Brawler, Gun Punch, Beat Down, Assassination, Air Assassination, Snipe Punch, Spartan Charge, Ground Pound, and Pound Town. So these commendations have been, it's a fine list of medals.
That's a great list of names
It is.
there.
So these commendations have been tuned a little bit to kind of more accurately reflect their categories. So you might have noticed that the close quarters and combat opportunist categories weren't increasing at this normal rate as your gameplay progressed, and that's because those medals weren't perfectly tuned. And then the combat opportunist category, we've got reversal, triple double, hard target, BXR, nade shot, noob combo, quick draw, combat evolved, alley-oop, and sniper headshot. So once again, those medals are a little bit more accurate to that category. And if none of this makes sense to you, don't worry about it. Just keep playing Halo 5
it wasn't affecting you anyways.
and enjoy it. But yes, I think that does do it, Jay, for the community update topics we wanted to cover. Of course, the most pertinent of those is game modes. They are on the way. You heard from Max. Another thing we're going to work on is
Fiesta.
Fiesta's going to be blessed. And there's more things I want to say about Fiesta that I can't just yet, but there's great stuff coming to that mode as well. But yeah, I mean, we know you guys want to hear about game modes, so we're going to bring you more behind-the-scenes looks at game types. We met with a multiplayer team this week, and we said, hey, you guys are building all these awesome modes. The community doesn't know about them yet. How can we give you guys a little bit more platform to talk about? So we're going to have a little bit more dev blogs about how these modes are coming along, what changes are being made, what custom game options exist, you know, so we can better tell that story and share that news with you. As we do have monthly updates coming to Halo 5, I think it only makes sense that we can better share the story and behind-the-scenes look at the development of those game types, as well as things like new maps. But with that